Have you ever wondered what the buying process is for buying an apartment building? Well, stick around. I'm going to go through the steps that I've just been through. Hi, my name's Darren Wright, your real estate investor. So if you follow us on social media or on YouTube, you'll know that we've purchased two buildings. One was a 20-unit property and one was a 39-unit property. And I was just discussing that with people who edit these videos, and they said it would be a great video to inform people on the steps that we went through to purchase these properties. Obviously, there's a lot of techniques that I can't go through on here. It'd be too long of a video, but I can do a quick overview on how we did it. So these particular properties, they both came from one seller, and it was an estate sale. The family have owned it for many years. Actually, the father, his company built these properties. So one was from the ground up, the other one was the company gone bankrupt, then they took it over. So there's been a lot of care and attention been put into these properties for many years. And it wasn't listed with a realtor, it wasn't on the open market. It was actually through a lawyer. So these properties were not listed with a realtor, they were actually listed with a lawyer. And it was only a matter of fact that a realtor that I use frequently for buying properties, he was talking with this lawyer, and he just happened to mention that, hey, I have something that might be of interest for you. I got two apartment buildings, and the lawyers were putting it out to people they know. Well, these lawyers didn't have a relationship with me, or should I say I didn't have a relationship with these lawyers. Maybe I need to do. So I wasn't even on the list to be invited to these. And when my realtor inquired, well, why is the seller using a lawyer rather than giving it to a realtor to do their job, get a realtor broker and get these listed and get as many eyes as possible? He said the seller did not want to pay the commission. Well, we said, well, are we able to put an offer in and the buyer would pay the realtor's commission? Sure. So we got the bit of documents that they put together, which was an overview. And they said, yes, I'm interested. Let's take a look at the numbers, actual numbers, not the overview and an appraisal that they had done. So I went through the numbers. Numbers look good. We don't have a for sale price because this is offers to be presented on such a date. So we don't even have a whisper price or anything. Let's walk the properties. Well, we were fortunate enough to walk the properties with the realtor and the seller. So we'd already cut the lawyer out. Things were still going through the lawyer. No one was being worked out of any sales or commission. But the fact that we could talk directly to the seller made a world of difference on this property. The seller was very helpful. She knew the property inside out. And the realtor, without me there, discussed about the commission. And obviously, we're paying the commission, but we want to get that put onto the purchase price. And she was sensible enough to know and smart enough to know that, yes, we're interested in net price, where too many people look at the price that they get in and then they feel they have to pay commission. You should never worry about what somebody else is getting paid. Only worry about what you're receiving. So it's what's net to you. And so that's one thing about selling. So there's obviously other people interested as well. So we put in our offer, and luckily our offer was accepted. I believe it was more in a relationship that we were accepted rather than just putting in a blind offer as well. We'd built up that reputation, so no one was competing with us, so we got our offer accepted. So the numbers are done, we've analyzed the numbers, then we asked for actual hydro bills. We want to know, you've claimed on here you got your utility bills, but what are they? The city taxes, we can look those up. And we want to go through everything. We want rent rolls, we can check the rents, and then we can check against what the actual income was. And then we can work out our own vacancy as well, because everybody tells you they're 100% occupied, and you can tell on the income compared to the rent roll on what the actual true occupancy is. Because if somebody moves out, that unit's probably going to be vacant for a month. So that's not the true income on the property. So then we have to start reaching out. So first of all, we have to reach out to our investors. Hey, we've got an accepted offer. Are you interested in being a partner on this deal? Yes. So we have the investors, we have the money. Then we're going to approach the mortgage broker, and we know this is Canada. The CMHC process is quite lengthy. It's 3 to 4 months minimum. That's if we're doing a good day. So we wanted to give as much information to the broker as quickly as possible. And he wants not just the financials on a property, he wants to prove net worth. He wants to know that we've got the funds to purchase it as well. So we want proof of funds. And then we also need our company financials as well. So you've got to have all this ready. And it's a lot of hurry up and wait. So you hurry up, you got to get your documents in as soon as they ask, and then you're waiting. And so while we're waiting, we had to obviously get our own appraisal, and that appraisal we'd submit to the mortgage broker as well. They're going to do their own analysis, but they also want an appraiser to back up the numbers as well. And it's going to be a CMHC underwriter who's going to do a lot of this work, as well as the mortgage brokers. And this is commercial mortgage brokers, they're not the same ones you use for a residential house, and it's different for CMHC. A lot of different rules, so it's a whole different education. And then what we have to do as well, we have to get an ES1, which is a phase 1 environmental report, where the inspector wants to know what was built on that site before the apartment building. And luckily for us, they're in the west end of the city, where there was nothing built before it. This was the city expansion, so it was just land before that. And so we've no environmental issues that way. But they also check to see what building materials were used as well, any asbestos in the building. And they also look at fridges and air conditioning units as well, because they want to know the environmental impact on the gases that could be held in those as well. So it's a very thorough report. And that goes for the mortgage broker as well, because it's a liability that they bring on. So once we got all this information with the mortgage broker is submitted, we then have to wait for a CMHC underwriter who wants to prove everything that we put forward. And with the mortgage broker and companies that we use, they will not put it forward if it's not going to work. They do that much work up front. They'll tell you right away that building does not support that valuation. We're not going to be able to get the funding. So we've never missed yet. It's always a concern. You're always wondering, well, what happens if they come back? So we answer any questions they may have, but with these, it worked out. We got the funding, and then we're able to remove the conditions of the financing. We've done quite a few walkthroughs, been through every single unit of the cell, because we're checking on type of plumbing it is, what type of electrical it is, and how are the tenants keeping the units, any problem tenants. And we always run bathroom fans and things like that. If they're noisy, we'll report it. Sometimes you get these items fixed. Luckily with this seller, it was absolutely fantastic. Paperwork was always there exactly when I needed it, and with very quick turnaround as well. And also if there was any repairs, she was so proud of the buildings, they got repaired. So if we heard a noisy fan, hey, we got a noisy fan there, it's been repaired. Or eavesdrop came off the roof when we went through a repair. He said, don't worry, he's already been called, it's going to be fixed. It was just a storm and it just tore a bit off. So it's been a fantastic process. We have been through properties where the seller just has a shoebox of receipts and they're not all for that property. So it's just an absolute nightmare when it's got that just being a pleasure. So once things are signed off, then we obviously we've got the CMHC certificate, and then we can go for the banks and get the best rate we can. It's a little bit different with mortgages. We get the certificate and then we can go to the banks. That certificate is going to guarantee the property for them. It's backed. So I hope that was a good overview. I know it's easy to speak it. It's a lot different when you live in it. But my advice is, you have needy relationships with your realtors, your lawyers. Lawyers done a tremendous amount of work to help us through this process. She's done a few with us now. So it is easier on my part for her, because I'm ready and able to give documents rather than being asked, hey, have you got this? And then I'm thinking, oh no, I haven't. I try and be upfront and say, I've got this ready for you, I've got this. And any documents I get from banks or the mortgage letters, I send them to the lawyer, so she is aware of what the lender's going to be saying for big mortgage documents that they've got to go through and check for you. They do a lot of work that you don't see. I know you're in the office just signing your life away for an hour, but just think how long it's taken to get that paperwork together and check and verify that it's going to be right. The title and things like that. So yeah, do a great job. The mortgage brokers as well, then we won't be able to do this. So that's a good relationship. Obviously the relationship without the realtor, we wouldn't even have this deal. So whether you're paying the commission or somebody else is, have you paid or you don't have a deal? So what are you going to do? Just pay the commission, pay them well, What do you think they're doing now? They're actively looking for more properties for us because they know we've closed, we've got the investors, we're able to pull this off. So, really appreciate that, and we all work together. So here's on to the next one. I hope this has been helpful. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments.